Hello, I'm Rich Christianson. I'm the editor and publisher of the Illinois Urban Wood Update. For those of you who have been in the industry longer, you might recognize me as the former editorial director of Woodworking Network and Woodward Products and Custom Woodworking Business magazines. Thank you for taking time to participate in today's session, The Urban Wood Movement, Expanding from Coast to Coast, and it truly is, as you're going to find out during the next 45 minutes or so. The first order of business, I'd like to thank our sponsors. First, I'd like to thank the Urban Wood Network, not only as our sponsor, but also to really help in organizing this presentation.
My name is Jennifer Alger with the Urban Wood Network, and we all love our trees that are in our communities, and we know that they store carbon and they provide amazing benefits while they're living. So, why are we treating our trees as a waste product when they come to the end of their natural life? Did you know that they can continue to store carbon if they're converted into lumber? Be a part of the solution. Buy your wood from Urban Wood Network members. Go to urbanwoodnetwork.org.
I also want to thank our second sponsor, the Georgia Forestry Commission, and Thank you to the U.S. Forest Service for funding not only this presentation, but also for helping fund so many projects over the years throughout the country that have truly helped advance the urban wood movement.
In 2017, the Georgia Forestry Commission and several southern state forestry agencies started to work on urban wood utilization grant through the U.S. Forest Service. The goal is to keep urban wood out of landfills. Most urban wood in Georgia winds up as either mulch, firewood, biomass, or lumber. A new grant has begun focusing on municipal wood volume estimates as well as small wood lot management. A virtual workshop and a regional forum will be taking place soon. For a list of urban wood mills in Georgia, please see the 2020 Georgia Wood Using Directory.
So why are you here? I'm sure there's many reasons, but if I had to speculate, I assume that some of you really don't have a lot of knowledge about what urban wood is, and you came here to find out what's all this buzz about using urban wood. Perhaps you've heard about it and you're really interested in learning what are the opportunities for using urban wood in my business, in my products, in my projects. And of course, there are those of you that are already doing urban wood. You just want to know what's new, what's now. And then, of course, beyond that, we have the Urban Wood Network, and people want to learn, what is this Urban Wood Network? What do they do? What are the membership benefits, and how do I join? These are all questions that we will answer during this presentation. Why am I here? I have 35 years as an editor covering the woodwork industry. During that time, I have literally traveled the globe. I have toured several hundred wood products manufacturing operations. I've attended dozens of trade shows, both regionally, nationally, and internationally. And I've also helped organize and promote dozens of educational conferences, workshops, and seminars. But you know, the one thing, after over 3 decades in this industry, up until 6 years ago, I never heard about urban wood. I certainly didn't use the term. I didn't hear the term. I didn't even know it was really potential. That all changed about 5 years ago when I was approached by the Illinois utilization team to basically help them promote the concept of taking our community trees in our curbsides, in our backyards, from park district land, and these trees that had to come down to turn them into something valuable. So what have I learned during my 6 years now, or 5 or 6 years of being involved with this? Well, these are some key takeaways. One, we have an abundance of variety and valuable trees of various species in our urban forests. And for the most part, these are tremendously underutilized. We just don't know what to do with them when they have to come down because of disease, because of storm damage, because of old age. And it's a sad thing when they wind up in the waste stream. Urban wood has a unique local appeal, and many times they have interesting backstories. I mean, the idea of the tree that you grew up with was once for your swing that can now be utilized and made into some kind of furniture and heirloom for your family. So there's marketing opportunity. And then there's nothing like urban wood when it comes to the environmental and sustainability. When you think about these trees that are coming down in our own locales that have been well managed, that they're taken down properly, they have an opportunity to be repurposed and used and cherished for years to come. So when thinking about this presentation, I thought about how it boiled down about how someone would join the urban wood movement. And I think it comes down to four key things: awareness, vision, the will to act, and networking. And to kind of put that in perspective, I'm going to draw upon a case study that I wrote about a couple years ago. And it's about a historic oak in the village of Riverside here in the Chicago area. This oak was over 150 years old. It was planted at the time that Riverside was just being established as a community. Riverside is considered the first planned community in the United States. So this tree came down during a violent windstorm, and fortunately, the village forester had the awareness that this tree had significance and had value. He also had the vision of that something could be made out of it. And he went to the village manager, and the village manager and he then went to the mayor and the trustees. And it was decided that, yes, they would spend money to make something that would be utilized by the village. But then it took action. And part of that action was finding a network of suppliers. And it started by finding a local sawyer that took that log and basically converted it into lumber. And then that lumber was dried by him as well. From there, through networking, found a local custom woodworker who took on the project. They ultimately decided to make 3 custom desks for the village hall to be used by the trustees. So here he is looking at some of those beautiful planks that came out of the oak. There's one of the desks as it was in production. And finally, here's the centerpiece desk that has the crescent of the village of Riverside. And we have the team that helped make that happen. We have the woodworker, the village manager, the sawyer, and the village forester. And a perfect example of how something that would have been discarded became something that now would be treasured for years to come by the village and its citizens. That's but one example of what could be done when there is awareness, vision, a will to act, and network. We're going to hear a lot more of stories along those lines and beyond. We're very fortunate to have 3 expert presenters. All are members of the Urban Wood Network. All are passionate about the use of urban wood. All make a living utilizing this great resource. In the order of their appearance, we have Dwayne Sperber. Dwayne is the owner of Woodward Urban Forest Products of Milwaukee. Dwayne is a founding member of Wisconsin Urban Wood and the Urban Wood Network. Then we have Carmen Rodriguez. She is the co-owner and chief marketing officer of Eutree, a custom sawmill operation in Villa Rica, Georgia, and does beautiful stuff for to be used, beautiful lumber that could be used by woodworkers for commercial and residential projects. Finally, we have Jennifer Alger, the CEO of Far West Forest Products. Jennifer really was instrumental in helping grow the urban wood movement in the West Coast and help bring that together with Dwayne and others of the Urban Wood Network under one larger umbrella nationwide now. And Jennifer's also been very active in the development of standards and certification of urban wood. I might also add that both Dwayne and Jennifer spoke at IWF 2016 and 2018 on urban wood topics. Probably the biggest drawback of having a recording as opposed to being live, as we're not able to take questions spontaneously. But fear not, if you have questions for any of the panelists, please direct them to info@urbanwoodnetwork.org. If the question is for a specific presenter or presenters, please note that as well. With that said, I'm going to turn the presentation over to Dwayne. And again, thank you very much for your time.
Hello, my name is Dwayne Sperber, and I am the owner of Woodward Urban Forest Products, and I'm a founding member of the Urban Wood Network. I'm going to begin this presentation with a history of sorts, an overview of the urban wood industry. First, how far away is the forest? If we were to slow down for a moment and think about a forest, some of us may envision a place that's very far away. Or let's imagine where our forest products come from. We presume the forest is there somewhere, and we certainly expect its products when we need them, but I feel most are generally disconnected from these two resources. An urban wood forest is the forest outside your door. Like electricity and water, an urban tree canopy is part of a community's infrastructure. Well-managed urban forests provide services such as energy conservation, improved air quality, carbon sequestration, and of course, enhanced beautification. Urban wood comes from this forest outside your door. When urban trees must be removed, many of the services and benefits they provided while living can continue on through urban forest products. Examples of this wood primarily include logs for municipal or private landscape tree removals and trees killed by storm or pest outbreaks. In other words, it's from trees not harvested for their timber value, but removed due to death, disease, or circumstance. Now, capturing and utilizing the wood from urban and community trees is certainly not a new idea. It's been happening forever. Recycling, too, has been happening forever. And just like recycling gained a renewed interest back in the 1970s, it was around 20 years ago or so when folks began considering removed urban and community trees differently. And this was mainly due to the devastation caused by the emerald ash borer and perhaps a growing interest in sustainable design and construction. During this time, municipalities, for example, were considering their response plans to the emerald ash borer, facing thousands of costly removals, and trees marked for removal became a familiar sight across the Midwest. Scenes like these inspired the public, who took heartfelt notice and began considering their own response plans. And I've always imagined someone sitting in the back of a meeting hall, raising their hand and proclaiming, "We should utilize all of these trees." Well, that declaration, it seems, became the mission statement for what has been called the urban wood movement. Soon after, many public and private efforts emerged to manage, recover, and process these urban logs, ash or otherwise. I witnessed firsthand that it was relatively easy to source the logs from these trees once the notion of utilization was introduced. I also witnessed that it was relatively easy to fill warehouses with urban lumber. And during this same time, this is in the early 2000s, the U.S. Forest Service reported that if recovered and repurposed, wood from our country's urban and community forests could produce nearly 4 billion board feet of lumber each year. That number was motivating to a great many, like fuel on a fire. But these early efforts, myself included, learned that we were introducing what was virtually a new wood product in a market full of familiar and well-accepted materials options. Wood, after all, has been considered, specified, and sourced much the same way for around a century. And here we were, loaded for bear. Here in Wisconsin, each sector that you see here had the know-how, the expertise, from arborist to sawmill to kiln to woodworker. But everyone you see here, this supply chain was fragmented, and those who who had influence over materials options, for example, designers, specifiers, or simply buyers, were not responding to this disunited group all playing by their own set of rules and definitions. We were not effectively responding to the potential that we all helped to identify. So, after a little more than a decade of learning and evolution, members of this urban wood movement began to find each other across the country. And we determined together the need to connect each link in the urban wood market chain. The need for standardization was evident, a common understanding, language, commitment, and so on. In 2017, the Urban Wood Network was established. UWN is a national membership-based association dedicated to the urban wood industry. We are the voice of the urban wood industry, representing the entire urban wood supply chain at all levels of production. We work to inform, collaborate, and connect to build business and consumer confidence in the urban wood industry. UWN members include municipalities, government agencies, arborists, sawmills, woodworkers, and other stakeholders in 21 states plus Canada and other countries. The Urban Wood Network is committed to the ideal that urban trees benefit their communities most when they are growing and healthy, but that their wood should be utilized to its highest use when they have to be removed to maximize economic, environmental, and societal benefits. As a member of the Urban Wood Network, my company, Woodward Urban Forest Products, is included in an industry that is bringing awareness to the essential qualities of living in healthy urban and community trees. It seems the more we all learn about the qualities of living urban trees, the better we can connect those qualities to supporting healthy built environments using the products from these trees. Trees first, wood next. I love that. Woodward Urban Forest Products is a producer and supplier of urban lumber, architectural woodwork, and much more, it seems, and is proud to play a role in full circle urban forestry. And it all begins right here. After nearly 20 years of advocating for urban wood utilization and proclaiming the efficiencies and benefits of maintaining a reasonable length and quality of log at the time of removal, we now have a network of public and private arborists who bring us basically anything they don't want to chip, with the understanding that we also need to receive some logs worthy of milling. In a sense, we are a recycling sorting center, sorting through multiple products from pulpwood to saw logs. And this process is saving communities and businesses resources and supports stewardship. I am first and foremost a producer and supplier of kiln-dried hardwood lumber, and I also offer value-added services such as planing, straight line rip, sanding, and so on. And due to our capacity, our association commitment to UWN, and our mission to basically prove urban wood in mainstream applications, Woodward is supplying more and more significant projects. A common theme that has developed over the years is that our customers want optimized components in lieu of lumber. They don't want to deal with loss factors associated with producing dimensional parts. So we now produce architectural woodwork, molder blanks, glued and sanded tabletops. And this means our customers can be assured that almost any product and design they imagine can be built with our urban lumber. Everything we produce is customized to their specifications. We also manufacture sheet goods. Veneer is sliced right from our urban boards, and of course, panels or otherwise are customized to our customer specifications. And commercial projects typically come with furnishing needs. Woodward is rooted in furniture making and is either called out as the furniture manufacturer or as the supplier to other manufacturers. Either way, everybody wins when urban wood has been specified on a project or in a product. Before any wood leaves our doors, I will have spent the majority of my time in this setting. The women in this photo could represent architects, interior designers, developers, or manufacturer representatives. In reality, these are my customers. As a mission-driven business, I help this group understand and commit to considering tomorrow in what they build today. These groups will certainly learn that Woodward is a reliable supplier of lumber and other products, but what I lead with are the benefits beyond the application that my products provide. The origin of my wood is what differentiates my products and the urban wood industry. And the following are photos of applications that Woodward has supplied and some of the considerations that the groups that I present to consider. Some of the things that they consider when designing a project in urban wood. In this project, this was a commercial project in Milwaukee. This is the Pfizer Forum where the Milwaukee Bucks play. And my product was used extensively throughout this. And designers were wanting to achieve something that connected people to something that was familiar and comfortable. Wisconsin's rich forestry history was proclaimed here by the use of wood throughout the arena, and the fact that urban wood was specified really benefited and was an added bonus to this project. Architects also want to have images and connections with the outdoors, so wood was used in applications like this, and it softens basically a lot of concrete. I love the combination of concrete and wood, but wood adds a softening, calming effect to designs. Natural materials, patterns, and colors are important to designers today, and these sustainable and regionally sourced urban wood certainly provides this, and it makes for a pleasing and calming experience in the built environment. And urban wood that was regionally sourced in the region of this library brought a sense of place and, more importantly, community to this public library. Transportations, this is also the library, and transportation impacts were also something that was important to this project. The fact that we ultimately lowered emissions by sourcing this wood regionally. This is also this library. Natural, more basic materials have less chemical exposure. And also basic materials are just softer, they're friendlier, and again, in the built environment. Visual connections with the outdoors. I don't mean that in the literal sense of this photo, but utilizing wood and the patterns of this wood near the outdoors, it just makes the experience more pleasing for the library patron. And again, nature's patterns contributed to the biophilic design goals of this project and was functional. And this is just a pretty application. You can't see it, but to your right is the Milwaukee River outside those windows. And the wood elements add, again, another softer, more comfortable feel, again, to a pretty large commercial space. Biophilic design is design that reconnects us with nature. Again, this is another commercial building, and you can see how the wood is just impactful to this area. And biophilic design is ultimately will lead to productivity and their calmness and their happiness of someone who's working in a commercial space. And these are the considerations that urban wood and the benefits that urban wood can provide. And here's another shot of that same application. Nature's patterns is certainly important too, are a part of biophilic design. And this is urban elm that certainly is full of patterns naturally. And this is also a varied width and thickness wall cladding. Local resources support local economy. It supports the local economy. This is a manufacturer I supply in my region with urban wood, and the wood that they produced was brought right back into the community, into this space, into the space that you see here. So urban wood supports a local economy, builds community. And again, we see nature's patterns here. And my favorite, function in a stimulating, meaningful manner. First and foremost, this is wood. I supply lumber, kiln-dried lumber. It can be utilized wherever wood is used. And so I love to see it in its most basic form as a function, but it comes with that local origin. It comes with lowering emissions. It comes with sequestering carbon. It comes with building a local economy. So there are many, many benefits of utilizing urban wood, and the Urban Wood Network is helping us get urban wood confidently specified in products and projects. So I hope you will look at your own urban and community trees differently and seek out, support, and join along with Urban Wood Network affiliated member businesses. Contact me with questions to learn more about Woodward Urban Forest Products or the Urban Wood Network. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Rich, for the introduction. My name is Carmen Rodriguez. I'm one of the co-owners and CMO at Eutree. I'm really excited to be here with you guys today at IWF Connect and my colleagues at the Urban Wood Network. And what I'm going to be talking about today is really the value of urban wood and why we choose to use urban wood here at Eutree. So first off, I'd like to share a little bit about who we are and what we do here at Eutree. Eutree is a manufacturer of hardwood products. What makes us unique is that we take timber that comes from hazardous or trees that come from hazardous or nuisance reasons and turn them into fine hardwood products, such as hardwood flooring, live edge slabs for furniture pieces, paneling for feature walls, dimensional lumber, and beams for architectural accents and other structures. In addition to our hardwood products, we also offer a service called Root to Fruit. And Root to Fruit is our term for projects where we help our clients recycle their trees from their own properties and return the wood back to them in the form of flooring, slabs for tables, or even conference tables, and other wood products, really giving that tree a second life. One of the guiding principles here at Eutree is the concept of sustainable by design, which is very relevant to new building projects, where we engage with architects, builders, and designers. So really thinking holistically about the environment and use of materials. For example, when trees have to come down due to new construction, instead of having those trees hauled off to a disposal facility, we can instead take those logs and repurpose their timber into any finished wood product, really only limited by the size of the tree. And this type of sustainable design thinking really lends itself well to LEED and other green building certification programs. So this sustainable sourcing method of utilizing urban wood is what we call here at Eutree the forest-free approach, which is really a four-step process. So number one, problem trees are removed by the tree service. Eutree handpicks the best lumber, which is then turned into slabs, paneling, flooring, and really any other wood product. And lastly, and most importantly, our forests stay happy. So one of the questions we often get asked here at Eutree is really how plentiful is the urban wood supply? How abundant is it? And is it really that sustainable? So I thought I'd share some numbers, just some quick numbers from the U.S. Forest Service. So number one, 4 billion. That is the number of urban trees located across U.S. metro cities. 38 million. That is the tons of wood removed annually from urban canopies. 14.5 million. That is the tons of wood sent to landfills annually, which is more than timber from national forests. And then finally, 3.8 billion. That is the approximate number of board feet that could be processed annually into value add wood waste from wood waste. So, for example, instead of having those logs hauled off to a disposal facility, we can then take all that timber and turn it into fine hardwood products. So for us at Eutree, we really ask the question, why not urban wood? Because the numbers really do speak for themselves. So beyond just the numbers, why choose urban wood? So number one, urban wood is beautifully unique. The quality of old growth trees often have tighter rings for stronger and more beautiful lumber. Urban trees also tend to grow older than forest trees, whereas a managed forest might be harvested on a multi-decade cycle. Therefore, urban trees grow much larger and yield rare lumber sizes like tabletop width slabs and super wide quarter sawn boards. Number two, there's actually a growing market. So, as consumers and businesses are becoming more environmentally conscious, there's a growing market of people really looking for an alternative. And then three and four, it also supports the local economy and reduces wood waste, especially municipal wood costs. And then finally, urban wood is actually a renewable resource. And that's because urban wood annual tree plantings are much higher than the number of trees that are being removed. So, what this all boils down for us here at Eutree is what we call our triple bottom line. And that is when people, planet, and the economy all benefit. So, one of the things that we find so valuable to being part of the Urban Wood Network here at Eutree is really our partnerships and relationships, which really helps us to scale and grow our business. So, for us, it's not only on the log sourcing side, but the community organization relationships, such as here in Georgia, we have the Atlanta Beltline, Trees Atlanta, the Georgia Tree Council, who do so much work in the community to provide outreach and education programs about urban wood. It's also about the furniture makers and craftsmen who help us bring our clients' vision to life. So all of these relationships are so valuable to helping us make good on our forestry mission. So I strongly encourage you, if you have an opportunity, go check out the Urban Wood Network website and consider becoming a member. Some of the benefits that we've enjoyed here at Eutree include access to resources and partners in our region and beyond, marketing materials and shared co-branding. So the Urban Wood Network has a wealth of information that you can leverage directly with your customers, visibility to new customer groups, and even recognition of some of our products and services. So again, if you have some time, go to the website, check it out, and consider signing up. And finally, I'd like to share some of our project work to demonstrate the breadth and usability of urban wood. So as I mentioned previously, Utree's core product offering consists of hardwood flooring, paneling, live edge slabs for furniture pieces, dimensional lumber, and beams. So first I thought I'd share some examples of some of our flooring projects. So Eutree flooring can be found in residential and also commercial settings as well, including restaurants and offices. And all of this is crafted from urban wood. So we can specialize in things like unfinished floor planks where a flooring installer can come in and do the site finishing. We can even do pre-finished floors and engineered as well. And next is some examples of some of our paneling projects. So what's really unique about urban wood is that, as many of you know, not all logs are created equal. So for example, here in Atlanta, we have some trees that we refer to as urban oak. And really that's species such as mountain oak and water oak. So as many of you know, while it doesn't make for great furniture grade lumber or even hardwood flooring, we can still take that tree that's an excellent quality log, and then we can craft panel boards and create beautiful accents using a variety of finishes. Everything from modern rustic to something sleek and super modern that can go into residential homes, restaurants, and even offices. So lots that can be done, and there's so much versatility with urban wood. Next is some examples of some of our live edge slab projects. So while we're not furniture makers, we partner with many furniture makers and craftsmen to help bring our clients' vision to life. So for example, we worked on a project with Sweetwater Brewery, who is located here in Atlanta. One of their designers reached out to us because they were building out a restaurant in one of their tap rooms. So we worked with the designer who sourced a number of white oak slabs from us. During the course of the project, there was actually a design change, and we needed to bring in some additional live edge slabs for the project. So what we were able to do, we were able to reach out to our urban wood network and partner with another sawmill who just happened to have those white oak slabs in stock, have them brought in to help complete the project. In addition, we also roped in one of our furniture maker partners, Lehman Luther, who then came in and finished all the beautiful tabletops and bar tops in the space. So just a great example of being able to reach out to your Urban Wood network to help make a client's project vision come to life. And then finally, just some examples of some of our beam projects that we do. So if you notice, one of the photos on the right, I believe, is a residential home. It's the one with the vaulted ceilings and the barnwood floor. This was a really cool project. The customer reached out to us because they were building a new custom home on a new property. We then worked with the customer and the grading company to take all of the trees from the property. Over the course of a year, we then took all of the logs and we milled them, kiln dried them, and crafted them into finished products that went back into the stunning home. So products included things like hardwood flooring, paneling for feature walls, mantles, dimensional lumber, and live edge slabs that went into furniture items for the home. And then, of course, as you see there in the photo, the live edge beams that were crafted from southern yellow pine that came from the customer's property. And then finally, just wanted to share some of our other root to fruit clients that we have. So while root to fruit works really great for residential customers, it also works very nicely for our corporate customers as well. So for example, here in Georgia, Eutree does a lot of work with larger landowners like universities. So some of our clients include the University of West Georgia, Georgia Tech, who is actually one of our repeat customers. Anytime they have a tree come down on their campus, they have that tree sent to Eutree. We then mill the log, kiln dry, and return the wood back to the customer in the form of finished wood products, really going back into the campus. In addition, we've also done work with Piedmont Hospital. They were building out a new cardiac unit center. And unfortunately, there was quite a number of white oak old growth trees that had to come down due to the new construction. We then worked with our friends over at Schuyler Morgan Furniture to help repurpose that wood and turn it into furniture items that then went back into the hospital. And one final example I'll share is Gables Residential. They're a company that builds apartment complexes. So this is a cool project that we did that we actually just recently completed. And so prior to the build, we were able to take trees from that property to our facility. We milled them, kiln dried them, and then turn it into finished products that went back into the apartment complex as wall paneling for feature walls, paneling for ceilings, and then live edge slabs and lumber that were then crafted into furniture items. So root to fruit is a really nice way for these types of corporate customers to be able to take that story and integrate it into their sustainable corporate messaging for their customers. So finally, thank you to IWF and my friends here at the Urban Wood Network for having me today and allowing me to share a little bit about Eutree and our passion for urban wood. I leave you with my contact information. If you have any questions about urban wood or would just like to reach out to connect, please don't hesitate to do so. I've also included our founder and president, Sims Acuff's contact information as well. So thanks again for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing some of you in the future.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Alger, and I am the president of Far West Forest Products, and we use urban, salvaged, and reclaimed woods. We've been processing and selling those for just over 20 years now. And in addition to that, we also are the representatives for Wood-Mizer products in California and Nevada. And as we were selling, we're using urban wood, we're processing it, starting to phase out most of the traditional woods just because of access and ease and all of that. But as we're selling the Wood-Mizer portable bandsaws, we started to realize that we're selling them to a lot of different people who are also using urban wood, and there was even more arborists in the area who didn't know what to do. They're taking their urban wood and they're taking it to the landfill and having it chipped, and so we started to communicate with them about also milling that instead of having it go to the landfill and really utilizing that great natural resource. And so we started to network informally with a lot of these different arborists, tree services, other sawmill operators, other wood producers, artisans, makers, and with CAL FIRE in California. And we started to network, and in 2016, we realized we needed more than just our loose networking. We needed a formal network. And so we formed a 501c3 nonprofit. And and then in 2017, we began to take members. That nonprofit was called Urban Salvaged and Reclaimed Woods, Inc., or USRW, Inc. And that's when our networking began. And then over the years, we realized there's some great groups in Wisconsin Urban Wood, and Illinois Urban Wood, and groups in Virginia and in Baltimore, the Baltimore Urban Wood Project. And there's all these great groups around the nation, and some up in Canada, some people up in Canada and British Columbia doing great things. And we realized we were pretty fragmented. We didn't even have the same definition for urban wood. And so we thought, boy, we really need to come together, and we need to fly under one flag if we really want to take urban wood to the next level. And so we had a lot of discussions, what's the best name? What's that flag that we should fly under? And we had a meeting in Milwaukee last December, and it was decided there that the Urban Wood Network made the most sense. And so we all came under the flag of the Urban Wood Network. And so now, even though we still have our 501c3 as USRW Inc., we are operating in the membership aspect as Urban Wood Network Western Region. And so for the Urban Wood Network, everything west of the Rockies and up into Canada goes in the Western region, and then everything else would go directly to Urban Wood Network or to one of the chapter members, such as Wisconsin Urban Wood. And so that's where we are today. Give you a little backstory. The next thing I want to talk about is why you would want to, if you're a wood consumer, why you would want to choose urban wood. And one of the reasons is, or some of the reasons, is that it's a responsible use of our natural resources, great for the environment, and it rivals the exotics or other traditional woods in color, beauty. It's just an amazing wood. We strongly recommend it. I wanted to show you some pictures of some of that. This is a Claro walnut mantle, kind of going with the rustic theme, redwood beam. These came from our company, Far West Forest Products. Another picture of the same. This is a kitchen all done out of urban wood. You've got the floors, the counters, the countertops, the window seals and ceiling, and even this bar island, all out of urban wood, salvaged from Far West Forest Products and produced by other Urban Wood Network members into amazing products. This is a Deodar cedar slab, one of the things that we frequently see going into the landfills. And then we have, this is a fun one. This is a Cottonwood Surfboard. And Cottonwood is one of those woods that we get asked all the time, okay, this has to be a junk wood. What can you possibly do with cottonwood? And so we have a beam in my office made out of cottonwood. We've got all these really cool things done out of cottonwood. This bar in my shop is made out of cottonwood. And we're doing a surfboard. We're doing, actually just shot a little short video with a shaper, Martin Shapes, out of Dana Point, California, having a pro surfer surf it to show that, hey, you can do anything with cottonwood. And this is a ukulele, actually not out of cottonwood and not out of urban wood. It's out of koa, but the fin of the surfboard, you probably can't see it on here too much, but it looks an awful lot like koa. We put out this survey, hey, what kind of wood is this? And everybody was saying koa, acacia. Nobody guessed cottonwood. So some exciting things coming up. And while we were, this little ukulele was made by Andy Powers, who is the head luthier for Taylor Guitars. And while we were shooting the film and making this surfboard, the surfboard shaper, Josh Martin, was actually texting Andy Powers, "Hey, can you guess what kind of wood this is?" And then put the little ukulele up there. So it was nobody knew. So cottonwood is a great urban wood product. Speaking of Taylor guitars, this is a picture of Scott Paul, sustainability manager from Taylor Guitars, John Mahoney of West Coast Arborist. West Coast Arborist has an urban wood line called Street Tree Revival. That's what they do. They're the municipality service for over 300 municipalities in California. They're an Urban Wood Network member. And Street Tree Revival is their wood line through that. And then this is Bob Taylor. And Bob had a vision for, hey, why don't we start making some of our guitars out of these woods that are going into the waste stream now, and give them a second life. And so they did this earlier this year at the Music Awards at NAMM. They introduced the first urban wood guitar line made out of urban ash from the city streets of Los Angeles. So great things that Urban Wood Network members are doing. And our next slide is West Elm. West Elm is a store. It's a national store. They have little sections within each of their stores where they have local products. And so Trent Dean Designs out of Sacramento has his products, these benches, knickknacks, and different things. He has these products in West Elm stores, and he partners with, so he's a designer, a maker. He partners with other Urban Wood Network members to get the wood. So there's ash there. I think that's from Sacramento Tree Foundation. This Claros from our company, Far West Forest Products. And so a lot of really cool things that are going into urban wood. And I don't have any pictures of it, but Sacramento Tree Foundation's Urban Wood Rescue Program also just signed a contract with Brick and Board, a furniture manufacturer, to bring some of their urban wood line into Brick and Board products. So that's an exciting move for Urban Wood Network members. The next slide that we have is this is a build from one of our partner members, Hallow Klein Studios. Beautiful work. And so I just wanted to say that every day the trees where we live are removed. Over 4 billion board foot of wood products annually are coming out of our major cities in the United States alone. That's not counting Canada, and that is not counting the small townships and towns and unincorporated communities around the nation. And there's a lot of those as well. According to a study by Sam Sherrill and Steve Brakovich, if we use just 10% of that available wood from those major municipalities, that is the carbon equivalent of removing 732,000 vehicles off of the road annually. That's a big impact. And that number, once again, is not including all of those unincorporated or small towns. It's not including the orchard salvaged, highway or levee removals, fire damaged trees. It's not including any of that. So if we bring all of that into the definition of urban wood, that brings that number of vehicles that we're able to remove off of the roads annually even higher. So urban wood utilization has been successful and growing for over 20 years. My company, and we've been doing this alongside of many others. We've been successful for over 20 years, and we were told it wasn't possible. We were told there was no value in urban wood. It's ugly. It's got too much defect. You can't compete in the traditional markets. It's too hard to mill because it doesn't grow as straight. The costs are too high to process. Blades are too expensive. Well, we sell Wood-Mizer blades, and yeah, no, they're not. They're very affordable, and the beauty is there. We've shown you many examples. The value's there. It can go, the defect, we can call it character, and you can use within what nature gives you. Or there's other options where some of the wood doesn't have any of the defect. It's just as good as anything else. And so there's multiple different directions that you can go with urban wood. But because we've been training the eye to love the defect or call it character, it's and that's become very popular now. We're able to actually utilize even more of the wood. We're not cutting out this character. We're not cutting out the knots. And so we're encompassing that and including that into more of what we're able to offer. But then people always have the choice. They can also get Urban Select graded wood. Another concern is inconsistent product, not repeatable in quantities. If an architect or a designer specifies this in their build, are they going to be able to find it? And the last one is no chain of custody for USGBC LEED building projects. And so we began to address those concerns. And we began to develop standards for the urban wood industry so that we could really address these concerns that some of our buyers had in using urban wood, especially when they started to put these into their larger, more costly builds. And so we started with definitions. We redefined urban wood. And the new definition is any wood that was not harvested for its timber value and was diverted or removed from the waste stream and developed or redeveloped into a wood product, an urban wood product. And it can come from three sources. It can be from deconstruction, so that would be the reclaimed. It can come from fresh cut urban trees, and it can come from salvaged wood. And so by redefining urban wood into these standards, we've also developed a certification program. And one of the definitions within the certification program refers to local wood. And local wood would be woods that were salvaged from within, salvaged and processed. Their entire life was spent in a 500-mile radius. And we did that so that that could fit into the USGBC LEED building programs for a low carbon footprint because it stayed in a local community. Now, it is not required to be local wood in order to be USRW certified, but it's just, you cannot put the stamp of local wood on your USRW certification unless it is within that 500-mile radius. So the objective with the standards was that we were able to document the sourcing, the management, the production requirements through the chain of custody process to demonstrate to the consumer that USRW certified woods that are utilized in these products are traceable, they're promoting responsible practices, they're minimizing waste, as well as good benefits to the environment and other social benefits. So standardization will ensure consistency. One of the concerns with going into urban wood was, you know, somebody used a fly-by-night one time. They didn't use an Urban Wood Network member, and they got an inconsistent product. Maybe they thought it was dry because the tree was felled 5 years ago. Well, that doesn't make the lumber dry once you mill it. And so the Urban Wood Network works hard to train its members to provide a consistent product. And the standardization and the certification process will just raise that bar even higher. And so we'll have labeling requirements that declare the moisture content. They declare, was this wood sterilized? And if so, how? And what was the reason for the removal? And that way a conscious buyer can make a determination on their own if this makes sense for what they're doing. We have some buyers who don't want to purchase wood that came from a building project, you know, that you know, the trees were removed so that a mall could go in, but they are okay with purchasing woods that were city street trees that came to the end of their life or something along those lines that fell naturally. And so we will take both into the pipeline, but we will declare the source or the reason for removal. And that way everybody can make their own decisions and do what's right for them and for their purchasing, for their company's social belief systems. One of the things with the USRW certification that we're working towards is we want to make sure that we're operating effectively within the well-recognized and respected existing standards, such as FSC, PEFC, SFI, and bringing wood into the supply chain that can really align well and show compliance with the existing standards that are already there. And so at the end of our standards for certification, we have included an appendix. So we're not claiming FSC certification or SFI, but we are able to, within our standards, say, hey, this is how we align. We're right there with them. We know that you trust this organization. You can trust us too, and here's why. And here's what we've done to match and align with those certification programs and with USGBC lead building projects as well. And so now we have the certification. Now what? We still have the question of how do you find it? How do those architects and designers find this wood? And how do we get the product certified? So Urban Wood Network and USRW Certified Woods is working with Ancestry, which will be the certifying body. And Ancestry will work on a platform where urban lumber inventories and or urban lumber and wood products companies can easily manage their inventories, and where wood can be tracked and certified using the first ever USRW certified wood standards, and where arborists can market their products, where wood producers can market their products and services, and where artisans can sell and market their products, all on the same platform, where consumers can go into that platform and they can search. Say they need 10,000 board foot of a certain type of white oak for a product, and they really want it to be urban. Well, one urban producer may not have it all, but they might have 3,000 board feet, and this other producer have 2,000, et cetera, until they get to exactly what they need. They'll be able to plug that in. They'll be able to see their inventories. They'll be able to know that they were certified, that there's a chain of custody, and that they followed the best management practices out there. So be looking for certified by Ancestry, be looking for USRW certified woods. This is so close. We're about ready to launch, and we're very excited to be able to put this consistent, reliable product on the market and into your hands. So we do have some exciting things on the horizon for the urban wood industry, but we want to make sure that you know you don't have to wait until those things are in place before you buy urban wood. You can go to the Urban Wood Network website. You can go to the website, you can find a member, and you can still buy urban wood today. These companies are following the best management practices. They won't have the certificate or the certification stamp yet, but they will be able to show that backstory, and you'll be able to ask them, was this sterilized? What's the moisture content of this product? Where was it sourced from? What was the reason for removal? So you'll be able to ask those questions. It won't be as easy as it's going to be, but you can still buy urban wood now, today. All of those examples, all of those pictures that I've already showed you are examples of wood that was sustainable, it was trackable, traceable, but it was not yet certified. You can be a part of the solution now, today. Go to the Urban Wood Network website, urbanwoodnetwork.org or urbansalvagedwoods.com. Find a network member and start purchasing urban wood today. Our members, as I mentioned before, they follow a code of conduct, a code of ethics that are above and beyond. And if you have any questions about it, feel free to ask them, ask us, and we can walk through some of the standards and so that you can feel comfortable buying urban wood today. In order to scale this industry, one of the things that we realized was that we really need to think beyond live edge. And so Artistry Millworks is a remanufacturing facility in California. They visited 4 different Urban Wood Network members, Far West Forest Products, Urban Wood Rescue, True Wood Builders, and Street Tree Revival. This is some of our blue oak in here, some of our sycamore, some of our cottonwood, and they want to really start a line, an urban wood line from Urban Wood Network members, so that they can start putting that into their builds and they're not having to import woods from other areas. So we're really excited about this new member and these new partnerships within the Urban Wood Network. And we want to encourage you to become a member today. Whether you're a landowner, a municipality, an arborist or tree service, a wood producer, sawmill, remanufacturing facility, whether you're a kiln or a hauler, we have a place for you in membership. Or whether you're a consumer, a maker, a designer, we would love to have you consider membership today and really get on board with the Urban Wood movement. Join the conversation. We have a private Facebook group called the Urban Wood Movement. Join it today. And also follow us on Instagram at Urban Wood Network West. That's where we promote all the amazing things that our members across all of North America are doing. A special thanks to our sponsors, Wood-Mizer and Far West Forest Products, my company. And also a very special thank you to CAL FIRE, who has funded our nonprofit here in California, and for the Urban Wood Network Western region. They're funding that through funds from Prop 68, and we thank you very much.